I remember going into one motel, and it was about 1 o'clock in the morning. I woke up to screaming. The first thing I see is a shotgun coming through the door. Behind that shotgun's my drug dealer. I never thought that I'd end up on my knees with a shotgun in my face. I was a really good baseball player. I had a college career ahead of me.
Steven was that good athlete that had everything going for him.
He could have gone on and played more ball without going into drugs.
The first time I used crystal meth, I watched my cousin snort his line. He handed me the tin tray that it was on, and I snorted my line.
He suddenly didn't care about going to college. He didn't care about playing baseball, even though he had a baseball scholarship. He didn't care about anything. And you'd see remnants of him coming through the house, and then he was gone.
Yeah, you knew that he came home and left by the time you got there by what was left in the house.
My son was a meth addict.
The things that I did in addiction scare me to this day. I robbed from my family. I stole from friends. I crawled through the window at my mom's house and staged a robbery. Stole $3,000 out of her top drawer. I'd go to any extent and to all ends to get dope.
He came up with some really good stories. My tooth hurts so bad I have to go to the
I had
dentist.
to go to the dentist and get
money.
a root canal, and those are so expensive. Yeah, I remember that one.
When you give him money, you're giving him money to drugs. You're responsible for that next high. And it was really hard for all of us to stop doing that.
We hadn't had any meth for 2 or 3 days now. I was crashing pretty hard. I was $21 to rent a motel room for one night. A $21 motel room, this is a flea bag. My dealer really starts to feel very paranoid, like everyone was out to get him. I woke up to screaming. He's yielding this 12-gauge sawed-off shotgun, and this guy's telling me to bite the barrel. And when he took his eyes off me, I grabbed the barrel out of my mouth, and I fought for my life. I threw my left hand back towards my stomach to block this knife. Everybody in that room freaked out. And then all of a sudden, the world started to spin about 150 miles an hour, and I was...
This is the emergency room that you were in 6 years ago. More than likely, you were in this very room. How severe was your stab wound?
He broke 2 ribs, went through my lung and got the sac around my heart. I came here flatline. They had shocked me 4 times with the defibrillator to get a pulse, and I can remember the EMTs, how shocked they were that I opened my eyes. He told me that this will all be a waste if you don't get your life in order.
3 days after he was stabbed in the chest, he came back through to take care of some warrants. And that was the first time I probably ever talked to him where he actually sounded like he was wanting to make a change. But he's a meth user, and you never believe a meth user.
You got to change everything about you. It wasn't just stop using, it was stop visiting, stop associating, stop loitering. When I decided I was going to get clean, I had to change everything. Any old behavior can and will trigger your addiction. The recovery process for me started with Narcotics Anonymous and attending a meeting every day, because if I didn't go to a meeting every day, then triggers start to happen. The recovery process for me was intense probation with an intense probation officer named Ted Martineau. Whatever it took. This was your daddy's probation officer.
Yep.
Yep. Hey, listen. He taught me how to be a good guy. Did you know that? Huh?
And the big thing is just to feel good about yourself again. And I hope that you do.
Baseball was always my main focus. It was almost a given, if I could get clean, that I would find myself back here on these fields. Thanks to my recovery and a lot of hard work, 3 years ago I became the head JV baseball coach.
As a parent, you go, wait a minute, I don't want my kid on his team. That's just truthful. But you need to give everybody a chance. And as I watched him with the boys, it didn't take very long. He is a good kid, and he's trying really hard to help other people not go through what he went through.
Hearing his stories made me, not want to ever do meth.
Made you really realize what
getting into drugs and stuff like that can do.
The part that scared me the most is knowing that he was still from his own family, and I just could never think of doing that.
Okay, let's get a break. Get out there.
What is on 3? 1, 2, 3, vamos!
I remember thinking there was no hope, and now I look at my son, and I see who he is as a dad, and I see who he is as a husband, and a friend, and a son, and a coach, and a good man, and I'm so grateful that we didn't give up on that hope. Every step of recovery for him was a healing point for the rest of our family. And as he continued to go through recovery, we would heal.
Every morning I wake up, I say, what does it take to stay clean today? And then I do it. The simple things in life are all that matters anymore. This is what it's about. I'd give anything to be able to do this every day, to just spend time with my kids and my wife and hang out at the parks or just even at home. I don't think I could find a better example to let you know that recovery is definitely possible.